Brexit.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is November 15th, 2019, and this is our weekly profit recap and next week market insight session. So in this session, if you're new, we talk about the trades we took. We go over the analysis real quick, see how the trades played out, and then at the very end, we'll look at trade setups for next week, and we can also answer some questions. So just to recap how this week went, 0 losing trades. We had all winners. I think we made around 280. Our goal is around 300 pips per week, and we were pretty close to making that target. Last week we had a 360 pip week, so the averages work out. Just a heads up, we do have a portal where I get to chat with people. I also have the YouTube chat open, so if someone wants to chat and ask questions, you can do so. But if you want to sign up for our portal, it's totally free. Just go to forexlens.com/forex-trading-room and sign up. So let's actually get into the session itself. The first trade that we analyzed this Monday, on the 11th, was USD yen, and this was during our free session where we showed a potential to short. And this is what we usually get in our live sessions. We usually have your stop loss and take profit levels given and the analysis done for you. And so all you have to do is either wait for me to make the call on Telegram, or I let you know what things need to happen on the charts for you to enter the trade. So for this USD yen trade, we had entry at 108.831, and it went pretty much close to our final take profit. We came about 5 pips away, but we had an overall 60 pip drop on this trade. And so this was a great trade setup, and it was very little drawdown. And this was our first W of the week. Moving on to the next trade we took, and this was a trade we held from last week, Thursday. EURUSD. Let's pop to the daily to show you the analysis. The analysis started actually up here when we created the double top with USD, with the EURUSD. And the euro has its own geopolitical issues. Iran, going into recession, etc., etc. And even with all of that, it wasn't able to push and gain on the dollar. It wasn't able to go higher than 1.11700. So what we did was we waited for the double top to be confirmed with this push down. And this is the neckline for the double top. If I zoom in, you can see where the double tops meet right here. This is the neckline, and it's at 1.10700. We waited for a break of that neckline to confirm we're going down lower. And as you can see, we went around 70% of the way to our final take profit. I think we made around 60 pips on this trade. Currently, we're rebounding, and you can credit this to the lackluster results for the U.S. core retail sales this morning. But 60 pips is still very good for an intraday setup. And we've taken some profits off the table, and we do have our stops at entry. So it's a risk-free trade, and our strategy is price action, and we like to take advantage of support and resistance, channels, using fundamental analysis, and also range fills. So in this example, we were expecting our range fill to go all the way down here, but we got 60 to 70% of that move, and that's still a decent profit. So let's just look at the 1 hour to see what's up, and you can see we kind of rebounded from this hourly support here, and I think the US data kind of just was a catalyst to make it go higher, and we might get stopped out. But if you look at the overall daily time frame, the euro is still looking fairly bearish until it exceeds these previous highs. As long as we stay below this level right here, I'll be looking for shorts for the euro, and we'll look for possible setups at the end of the session. So that's our second winner of the week. That's already 120 pips. And then we had gold. So gold was a pretty quick in and out of trade, and the reason is pretty simple. We got a nice push, and actually let me pan out a bit. This is gold on the daily time frame, and when we had that spill last Friday, we waited for a second opportunity to get the next move down to 1430. That was our projection for our target. and we went as deep as 1445. So we had an entry at around 1459. We went to 1445, 140 pips, and we usually take 50% of our regular position. So that's still pretty good profit. That's 72.5 pips on gold. So if we go to the 1 hour, actually the 4 hour, we can see what happened with that trade. We had a pretty nice zero drawdown entry. We pushed down and then we got stopped out at entry. And since then, gold has been respecting this trend line. And all these levels and trend lines that you see are all drawn on our sessions during the midweek. And so to kind of understand what these levels mean, we have to really either join all the free sessions to kind of get an idea of what levels to watch out for, or just join the team. So gold, as we can see, this is panning out on the daily time frame. We have a nice ascending channel here, and that gold is currently coming to the top trend line of that channel. And so we could either see a respect of this channel and it go down lower, a rejection. On the other side, we can see it break above and go higher. Based on the US data, the core retail sales, we might have a long for gold, especially since we're sitting on support at 1464. So another 72 pips there, and we're at 190.5, I think. And so 192.5, and then the rest of the week we just went on we just rode with the yen. The yen was very strong, so we took a short on euro yen, and this was a live entry trade, and it was based on the daily time frame. We can go over the analysis really quickly. So the analysis actually starts back in 2019 of April. We have this nice descending trend line with our first touch, our second touch, and our third touch here. We had euro yen break above, and if we zoom in, we can see when it made its rally, it failed to go any higher than 121.351, right? We had one attempt here, another attempt here, another attempt here, and another attempt here. So while it was making those attempts, it was using this level right here as support, 122.90, right? So it was kind of using this as support, this as resistance. And so for us was to catch the impulse move or the breakout from either side, and we were looking at the breakout for the shorts. So if we pop to the 1 hour, we can kind of see the overall pips we got on this trade. And so our entry was pretty nice. I think we went into maybe 10 pips of drawdown, but we had a nice spill over, and this was around 74 pips gained on this trade right here. And this was a live analysis and live entry trade. So when the entry is there in the live session, I will call the trade live and get everyone to enter, and then send it on Telegram. So that's 260 for the week, and then we have one more trade. This week was actually better than I expected. Aussie yen. And just to recap on euro yen before we leave, we did get stopped out at entry. So what we like to do at Forex Lens is once we get to take profit 1 or 25 pips, we like to take some profits off the table and move our stops to entry. That way the trade becomes risk-free, and you're also securing some profit and not risking it all just to get stopped out by some news event. So just a little advice. And going on to Aussie yen, very similar setup, and I think we're not stopped out yet, but I think we just might get there by the end of the day. This setup also starts on the daily, and it's very similar to euro yen. Dating back to July this time, we have the daily descending trend line. Our first touch, our second touch, we had that breakout. We had a rally up to this previous resistance level at 75,350. We can zoom in. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of just trying to break higher. We just could not. So what we did, and this was on Monday's session, what we did was we drew this trend line right here, this counter trend line, and we waited for the break. So once we got that break, that was great. The second confluence we needed to enter short was a closure below the previous high, and the previous high was at 74,360. And if we just zoom out, we can see the significance of this level. It was a previous trend line touch and resistance for Aussie yen. So we took the short, and the hourly time frame will do it justice. This was our entry. Again, we probably went into 5 to 10 pips drawdown, and then we had a complete spill on Aussie yen, going as far as 73.369. There was a potential to catch 100 pips. Depending if you got in here, this was 100 pips. If you got in here, it was 60 pips. So we're actually at more than our weekly goal of 300. 260 plus 100 is 360. Even if you got the 60, it's 320 pips for the week. So we had 0 losing trades, and that's what you're gonna get with these live sessions. You're gonna get a nice price action strategy that's simple but effective, and anyone can follow. You can watch it on your way to work, on your phone, your tablet, on our beautiful portal. So at this stage of the live session, I'm just gonna do some next week market insight. Keep it very brief. If there's any questions, any pair recommendations, please shout them out, and I'll give them a look. I'm just gonna check the chats right now and see what people are up to. And do note, if you're interested in joining us, we will be giving a 25% off coupon code at the end of the session, so make sure you stay. So I'm just going to check the YouTube chat if you guys don't mind. Someone said check oil. So I think you're meaning crude oil. I'll definitely check that out. And this is our chat. We had a pretty good week. Someone is up 3% on their account, which is amazing. A lot of good progress. Someone called me a Forex god because, we've been having a lot of winning weeks. But yeah, so we'll look at oil, we'll look at Bitcoin, because we're starting to look at Bitcoin at the end of every session. And if there's anything else, I'll cover that. If not, we'll keep this session nice and brief and get on with our Friday. So let's actually look at oil for the person that asked, and I believe they're asking about crude oil. So it's actually been a while since we've actually looked at crude oil, but wow. So I actually gave someone a long setup, and this was a swing long on crude oil, and it actually played out. Yikes, how many pips is this? 53. Wow, 400 pips on this crude oil trade. I don't remember who asked this, but this setup was given. You can see. Wow, nice. Yeah, this price action strategy works on commodities, crypto, whatever you want. But yeah, this was the setup we gave, and it looks nice. So yeah, let's just go based off that setup. The reason why we took that setup was crude oil has these two zones, and one is this resistance zone depicted by this blue rectangle, and the other one is a support zone right here. And so that's the reason why we took the long, but we waited for confirmation, and the confirmation was a break of the previous high, which we got, and so that's why we longed. If you can see right now, I'm actually going to remove this idea since it's done with. If I extend over this resistance region I just talked about, let me just try to make it as perfect as I can. Okay, that's fine. We had after that long trade, we did have another potential to short, and if you had just these two levels drawn, you can count the number of setups that you could have had. So this was where resistance was established. This was one sell opportunity. That's a winner. Another one. That's a winner. Even here, you could have made some nice profits. That's still a winner. Here, there was a fake out. We like to wait for break, retest, and rejections. And what that means is this is your break of resistance. This is your retest. Usually you want a green candle to close above these candles as a rejection confirm candle. So that's one short, 2 short, 3 short, 5 shorts, 6 shorts right here from this level itself. So just an insight to our strategy. And now looking at recent price action, the past, I think, week, 7 days, we're kind of resting on this resistance region, and that tells me probably the one thing that's going to happen is crude oil is going to just blast off. It's going to go higher, And this is usually the case with gold. When we talk about this, when a commodity just consolidates on a key level, whether it's support or resistance, it's due for a nice impulse move. And we usually, a lot of our gold setups are traded this way. And I think that's what we're going to see for crude oil. So I'm just looking to the left, looking at potential targets from here to the upside. We can see this range right here. We have a wick here, a couple wicks here, and a wick here. That's a good place we could have a target. So I'm going to put that down. 58.82 could be a nice target for crude. And currently we're just sitting at some support. Let's jump down to maybe the 4 hour to see if there's an entry. So on the 4 hour, you can kind of see things become much more clear. This is our resistance region, and you can see we've kind of created a resistance right here. So we had a huge wick here. We had resistance established on the second attempt, resistance again here. So we're gonna actually draw another line for our hourly resistance, and hopefully that makes sense why that is resistance for crude. So that level is 57.77 if you want to draw that. And now we want it to long to 58.82. So what you could do is actually long from here, right? We do have a pretty nice hammer printed off this region. So you could go long, and your overall risk to reward would be pretty nice. So this is a 2.0 risk to reward ratio on crude oil long for next week. And this is a pretty good setup. Mind you, today is Friday. The markets close in about 6 hours. So don't enter now. Wait for how things look maybe Sunday or Monday and see if you want to enter. But definitely a setup you can trade because crude oil has been consolidating for too long. It's ready to go. Trading room is. Someone asked, hey Carlos, hey Fuasto. I'll look at EURUSD again real quick. With the trading room and signals package, what is the minimum net profit in pips per week? Good question. So our trading room is all our live sessions. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I come in every morning at 11 a.m. and I do these live trading sessions. I give live setups, and these happen live, but they are also recorded and posted within an hour on our portal, right? So if you missed the live, you can still watch them right here. And our trading room membership includes all our signals. And so we tend to net, we have 6 signal providers, each average around 300 pips per week. And if you do the math, that's 1,800 pips per week in total from all 6 providers. And so that's a lot of profit that can be made. That's 6,400 pips per month. So depending on your account size, your risk management, you can bring in a lot of pips and a lot of profit, regardless of which provider you choose. And the reason why we have 6 providers is because people are in different time zones. We always want enough trades for everyone. So making profits should be the least of your worries. You'll definitely make them with 6,400 potential pips each and every month. Fausto wanted me to look at EURUSD, so I'll actually do that. And what I'll do is I'll do a brand new EURUSD chart, very clean, new top-down analysis to give you an insight. So I'm going to remove all my drawing tools, and I'm going to start on the monthly time frame. This is how our strategy is, and hopefully you get a taste of what it's like. So what I like to do on any pair that I'm looking at is go on the monthly time frame. And I notice where price is right now. So price is down here. I'm not really too concerned about stuff happening up here or all over the place. We're concerned about the near-term targets. So on the monthly time frame, I draw my support and resistance, and I draw my trend lines or channels. So there is a trend line I can draw. The most obvious one is this one right here. Right. We can see, we haven't touched it on this past push-up, but, it just gives overall, I guess, a visual depiction of where we're going. We're obviously on the monthly time frame in a downtrend, right? The next thing I draw is my support and resistance zones. So instead of drawing lines on the higher time frames, I actually like to use the rectangle tool on TradingView and plot my zones. So like I said, prices here, I want to draw any levels that are close by. So this right here would be a nice support zone. Okay, you can see a lot of wicks here, a lot of months resting on this area. And at the flip side, I also want to draw a resistance in case EURUSD flips up. So a nice resistance zone could probably be right here. Okay, looks nice and clean, very neat. You don't have too many charts all over the place. And then what happens is we go on the smaller time frame. We can adjust these levels and start drawing our lines. So for the monthly time frame, euro is looking bearish. Let's check out the weekly, see what's up there. On the weekly, we can kind of see a clear picture, right? We have a resistance region here, a support region here, and price had a breakout above the resistance region, made a rally, and since then price has closed below that resistance region. So on that thought process, we want to target this trading range, right? So from here to here, right? And so now that we've closed below this blue region, our overall target should be down here, right? It should be. It might not go all the way there, but that's the overall thinking. And so I'm going to remove these arrows and actually go in to see if we can draw any hourly support and resistance. And let me try to zoom this. So just looking to the left, looking at places where price has actually stalled, and we can see we have some wicks at this level right here. So I'm going to get a horizontal line and draw it as such. So where I drew this line is 1.09100. We can see multiple wicks and rallies from this level. You can see a lot of rallies from this level, and that's our weekly support. Now looking at EURUSD, we're currently 130 pips away from that weekly support. So keep that in mind. On the flip side, is there any weekly resistance we can draw? Not really, because this resistance zone pretty much covers most of that. So that's why I like to draw these zones. And now let's take a look on the daily, see if there's any setup or entry. So on the daily, we can kind of see the rally that euro made today against the dollar, thanks to that data. So we're going to draw that trend line right here. From our first chart, we can see a nice trend line like this. We had a breakout, and now what EURUSD has done is created a double top. Remember we talked about this double top, and so that's going to be our resistance on the daily time frame, right at 1.11700. Now euro is in a pretty tough spot because it's kind of stuck between going back up here or going down here. So in this case, we make use of the fib retracement tool. So we're going to bring that out and go from our high to our low and see where we can retrace to. So obviously one of the favorite levels is the 38.2 level. And so as a trader, we went from the monthly to the weekly, and it was all bearish signs, right? And you always want to trade with the trend. On the daily, we want to find the next short entry. So the next short entry could probably be at the 38.2 fib level, okay? And if we look at the double top we created, the neckline is right here. So it's fairly close to that 38.2 fib level, also fairly close to the 0.50 level. So I'm looking at this area right here, this small little area to enter short, okay? So you want to see price come up here. You want to see a sign of rejection, an evening star, a bearish engulfing, whatever, to short down, okay? Price moves in waves and retracements. It doesn't just drop all the way to a level. Usually retraces. So trade with the trend, and for EURUSD, despite core retail sales coming out lackluster, I do see a short continuation next week from these two fib levels. So hopefully that helps out Fosto. And we'll take a look at Bitcoin if no one else has any questions. And I'll give you guys your coupon code for the week. And Glad you caught all the pips, Igor. Django will be back soon, NQFX. You'll be the first to know, but he will be back soon. So we're going to take a look at Bitcoin before we finish off the session, and then I'll give you guys the 25% off your first month for whoever's interested. So let's take a quick peek at Bitcoin. And our short is playing out to the T. It's actually dropped more since yesterday. So I love it. I love it. I hope this thing crumbles. Very similar strategy we used, and it's all price action. So if you guys remember, I think 2 weeks ago when Bitcoin made that huge push to 10,500, it kind of came back down to earth and to support on the 4-hour time frame at 8,700. You can kind of see that push, support, and yeah. So what we wanted to do was trade that breakout, and so we did. We got the entry when we closed bearish outside that support, and if you look, Bitcoin, once it made that push, it created support again at this level, 8,700. Okay, so my bad. This was the first level, 9,000. The second level is 8,700. So once again, it created support here. A lot of wicks. And in the past 2 sessions, I was telling everyone, if we get that break below this level, we're definitely going lower. And we are. We're well on our way to 7,500, which is my target for Bitcoin. So this strategy can work for pretty much any financial instrument. And the daily time frame looks good for Bitcoin sells. So thank you for the comments and your questions, guys. Thanks for Rotmi said, Ratimi Paul, sorry if I said that wrong, says, I like your analysis. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let us know. You can also email support@forexlens.com if you have any questions after the session. So just taking a quick peek at time. A nice 30-minute session. I think it's a good spot to end it off. For those that are interested to join our trading room and our sessions, and you want 25% off your first month, use the coupon code 25OFF at checkout at this URL right here, forexlens.com/forex-trading-room. Get full access, and you get 25% off when you use this coupon code at checkout. So yeah, you're gonna get 6 signal providers and my live teaching and my one-on-one help through our chat. So why not join? Okay, so I think I will see you guys on Monday. It's a good spot to end it off. Monday is another free session, so if you want to join, come through. You can also sign up for the free trading room membership so you can talk to me in the portal. And so I'm RP Forex. I'm the analyst in the trade room. I'll be signing off. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy those profits. Enjoy them responsibly, and I'll see you Monday.